for some, good evening. We're about 3:45 Valdez time, and we are getting ready to leave the port. I wanted to make sure that I got on. I let everybody get to see Valdez before we leave and do a live. So, right below me is the bridge. We have the observation tower open with the gym behind me. So you guys are on a cruise ship and you're working out. Those are the windows that you get to look out of. But nice day here in Valdez, Alaska. Last tender coming out of the little shipping area. Started off as a very, very rainy day, very foggy. We actually were delayed. We got to anchor up early, and even though we got here early, we still weren't able to get off of the ship. We ended up having to wait almost an hour before we were let off of the ship, and delayed our excursion a little bit. That was one of the issues we had today. Was we were supposed to be on a trolley excursion to see all of Valdez, and because they had um, started late, they had to cut the excursion short because it was only one trolley, and they had four trips booked today, so they cut everybody's excursion short. I'd say by about a half hour, but we were able to go through the town, see what Valdez has to offer. I'll be honest, it's a little it's a little community that is built on the oil refineries. Let me see if I can. There's one of the freighters that's getting loaded up with crude oil to take it to one of the refineries. Up on the hill, you'll see the storage facilities. Valdez, Alaska is the last or the end of the pipeline, so you can see all of the storage tanks. But it ended up being a nice day, like I was saying earlier. We were rained out. We were able to anchor up early, but we're not let off the ship just due to the amount of fog. We couldn't get our tenders. That's the very last one coming in from the port, but yeah, we weren't able to actually take the tenders in until that fog lifted, so it delayed us getting into the port by about an hour. We were already supposed to be gone. They gave us an extra hour. We were able to walk the town, which was nice. It as a small little community, you could probably walk that whole town in about 35 or 40 minutes. So not a big place. Not cruise ships don't normally come into here. We're about driving distance from Anchorage, about 5 hours by vehicle. You can obviously take a boat or a plane here, which is a lot faster. A boat I wouldn't necessarily think would be faster, but the airplane would be. There's only about 3,900 people in the town of Valdez. Obviously, with the summertime and it transitioning from their tourist season, they do get another couple thousand extra people in the community. One of the big things that they do have here, and I'll zoom in, is hey, Mr. Felix, and is that unboxed? How are you guys doing? But I'll zoom in. Those ships right there are recovery ships, oil recovery ships. So if there ends up having to be a spill in the area, that's one of the biggest incomes in this area are the folks that are here that are assigned to those oil recovery ships, just in case there's a spill. And they're on a 24-hour a day, ready for deployment. So there's, from what I understand, a couple hundred folks that are assigned to those ships. So if there is either a spill from uh, the pipeline somehow or with one of the freighters, and I'll show you again, one of the freighters that's filling up from the pipeline. If we do have another spill, those folks are ready to deploy. You can see one of those recovery ships is right there, just in case there happens to be a spill while that freighter is filling. So, just to tell you guys one thing about the channel, it's a newer channel. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers before the end of our vacation. We're on the All in America Westerdam. If you have not subscribed or liked the video, if you could please like and subscribe, that would help us out. Like I said, we're trying to get to 500 before we return back to Seattle. We're on today is day number 8 of our trip out of 27. We're going to Kodiak, Alaska tomorrow, and we have a sea day, and then we're going to Dutch Harbor, which is actually one of the few stops that a cruise ship will go into. And from my understanding, that some of the ships from the Deadliest Catch should be there. So we're looking at doing a live feed from Kodiak tomorrow, and then doing a live feed from um, Unalaska, or what other people call it is Dutch Harbor. So again, I'll be doing these lives quite frequently while we're on the ship. We're looking at doing one as well, just to give you guys kind of a this is how it's been so far, and what some of our expectations will be once we start sailing towards Hawaii. Flip it back around so you folks can see what Valdez, Alaska looks like. One of the things that is a misconception about Valdez is that the spill didn't actually happen here in the harbor or in the bay. It happened about 30 miles from here. It sounds like, from what we were told via our excursion today, while the spill happened, the local fishermen and any of the folks that had ships, um, they responded, because back then they didn't have the response ships like they do now for the spills. It sounds like for the first 4 days that Exxon didn't do a whole lot to try and keep the spill from happening, and it was left up to the local communities to try and keep that spill contained as best as they could. I'll show you guys the back of the ship, and let me go over to the side and see if I can't show you the tenders getting loaded. There are a couple people up here on the observation deck as well, but it's actually kind of cool how tenders. Let me get the camera around, but you can see the tenders are down there and some of the folks on their balcony. but those tenders are getting hoisted back up. There's the backside of Valdez, Alaska. Any questions you guys got about being out here in Alaska? Ended up being a beautiful day. I mean, we are in Alaska. You got to expect the weather to not always cooperate. It wouldn't be Alaska if it did cooperate. But overall, a great day. Hey, Holly. Right now, we're on a cruise and we're on Holland America's Westerdam. I'll flip it so you can see me. It is a little cold. It's let me check my watch. The temperature is 51 right now. I'm in short sleeve shirt with some pants on, so not freezing. It was raining quite a bit earlier today, like I was saying when I first started the live show. We were delayed getting into the port by about an hour just because of the rain, and then I'll flip it back so you can see the fog. But that fog, um, we actually had the foghorn going for most of the morning, just so that way, as ships were coming in and out of the harbor, they were they knew we were here. Where are you from, Ailey? The boat should be leaving in the next few minutes. We're getting our last tender back on, and then we'll be sailing to Kodiak, Alaska. We'll be there tomorrow. Let me zoom back out so you guys can see helicopter flying. Some people were doing excursions with planes and helicopters. For you guys watching, we'll be doing live feeds as much as we can while we're in port. We'll probably do one or two. We're on a 27-day cruise on Holland America, sailing from Alaska to Hawaii. If you guys can hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, we'd appreciate it. We're trying to get to 500 before we get back to Seattle, Washington on September 28th. So we'll be on the ship. Today is the 8th. We got 20 more days on the ship, which we're definitely looking forward to. Yep, I'm gonna do a live tomorrow. I'll do it as we're leaving. That's one of the things that I'll try and do is get you guys a little view of the port, what it looks like before we leave, and then try and get some of the view as we're leaving. Let me switch it back so everybody can see. Thanks for the like. Appreciate all the comments. We do have some cruises booked next year. If anybody's looking to go on a group or a group cruise next October, we'll be on uh, Royal Caribbean, the Symphony of the Seas, September 10th. So if you're interested in going, find me on Facebook, and we'll see if we can't get you signed up to be a part of our our group cruise. Do I know LeBron James? I know who LeBron James is. I've never met LeBron James though. I would like to someday. How about you? me see if I can't get back over to this side and see if we got that tender up. They said we got some other folks up here on the viewing platform. Flip it so everybody can see. Oh, still got that tender in the water. He's not quite ready to get lifted up yet. He appears to be the last one, so we'll be able to set sail. Bye, Haley. All right, anybody else got any comments while we got you here before we leave Valdez, Alaska? Getting rained on a little bit. The weather's turning. The sun was coming out a few minutes ago. Haven't seen a whole lot of wildlife here, which is kind of surprising compared to our other stops. At least you see some wildlife in the ocean, but haven't seen anything today, which is kind of surprising. So, for you. So supposedly that road right there, let me zoom in for you. So Valdez, Alaska only has one way in and one way out by vehicle, and it's about a 5.5 hour drive to Anchorage, which is where we were 2 days ago. We were at College Fjords yesterday at the I think it was the Harvard Glacier. If you guys go back, you'll see that video that we posted live while we were at the glacier itself. One of the things that we heard somebody say was once you see one glacier, you've seen them all, and I don't necessarily feel that that's true, just because this is our third cruise to Alaska, and every time we've been out here, we've seen a different set of glaciers, and it's pretty breathtaking every time we go. So I can't say that I'll ever get enough of it if we do ever come back to Alaska. And thanks for watching for all you new folks that are hopping on. If you could like and subscribe, that would be great. Post any comments or any questions down in the chat. That would help. Be willing to answer any cruise questions that you might have, anything about Holland America or about the cruise that we're on right now. Make it a little bit entertaining for everybody. Hey, JJ. Yeah, I got plenty of recommendations, JJ. Where do you live would be a good starting point. And then one of the things that people ask are, you know, do you get do you feel the motion of the ship? You live in Michigan. Okay. Um, they do sailings out of Baltimore. Really, where the hub is for cruising is Florida. There's 6 different ports there, and you can usually get really good deals if flying to say Miami. I'm sure I don't know how close to like Detroit or one of those bigger cities, but getting a direct flight to Fort Lauderdale or to Miami, and you can do week-long cruises. They're usually very inexpensive. I would say for somebody that's never cruised before, um, you can book a 3 or a 4 day cruise just to try it out. If your wife gets motion sickness, I'll say you never want to book a room in the very front of the ship or the very back of the ship, and you're also going to want to book a room that is about midway or the lower part of the ship. So if it's like a ship that's got 13 or 14 decks, you want to be around 7 or 8. You don't want to be too low because then you're going to start hearing some of the engine noise. But I get car sick, and I also get sick when I'm on roller coasters. And I've only been sick one day out of the 23 cruises that we've done. We've been on a ship about uh, I think total we're looking at like 150 days at sea, and I've only been sick once for one day. So they do have Dramamine. They talk about people having ginger. Those are all supposed to help with motion sickness. So yeah, maybe try a 3 day or a 4 day cruise out of Miami or Long Beach. I don't know if that helps any. I would say probably don't know your age, but maybe avoid um, Carnival for a first ship or a first cruise line. Maybe try Royal Caribbean or Norwegian. Be really careful when it comes to the drink packages. If you're not big drinkers, it's probably better to buy your drinks individually. If you drink 3 or 4 drinks in a day, sometimes five, depending on the cruise line, then you can basically break even. But if you don't drink that many drinks in a day, or you got a lot of stops while you're on your cruise ship, then it's not really worth getting that drink package. Okay. So I'm 51, and my wife is 52. So I would say that you guys are in the same boat as us. If you go on, I'll just name a few of the cruise lines, like here on Holland America, Princess or Celebrity. They're older cruise lines as far as like the clientele. They most of the people are in their late 60s, early 70s. If you want some people that are more your um, age group, I would say try our second favorite cruise line is Royal Caribbean. They do have a great brand. Um, their drink package is fairly reasonable, and they do have really good specialty dining. But for folks that have it's their first time cruising, I wouldn't recommend doing any specialty dining. Just get used to the included food, just so you don't feel like you're getting taken advantage of. That's what we did initially. Was We didn't ever buy the dining packages or pay for any of the specialty dining because most of the food in either the buffet or the included the main dining room. If you go on Royal Caribbean, they have a couple of included restaurants that are usually pretty good as well. But once you get a couple cruises under your belt, maybe you try the steakhouse if you're into that, or they have Azumi's, which is a Japanese style restaurant. So yeah, thanks for the questions and the comments. Much appreciated. Kind of feels like we're moving a little bit. Let me go check the side of the ship. If you guys could subscribe to the channel, that would be great. Yeah, we did. I don't know if you would consider the British Isle European. Let's see. Oh, they're getting the last one. Let me zoom in up. We're getting that last tender up, and we'll be on the road here in a minute. I shouldn't say the road, but be leaving here in a minute. Yeah. So, hey, Leando, uh, nice of you to join. Thanks for watching. If you could like and subscribe to the channel, we're trying to get to 500 before we get to the end of our cruise here, which is September 28th. But for that question, JJ, we did last year. We did the British Isle. We flew to London, spent 5 days there in London. Uh, I would say you probably got to spend a week or more just to even uh, kind of sample what London has to offer. Then we got on the cruise ship. We did Scotland, Wales, Ireland, and we had one stop in France, and then a couple stops along the coast of Great Britain. And that was probably one of the best cruises that we've ever had. Next to we did a few years ago the Panama Canal, and that was a great trip. We took that out of Fort Lauderdale, and then it sailed to LA, California, and that was a 15-day cruise. That was our longest cruise up until this one. Like I was saying, this one's 27 days, so I feel like we're spinning a little bit. I wonder if we're getting ready to move. I flip the camera back so you guys can see. Let's see over here. See if we can see rusters moving at all. One cool thing is up here in the observation area, you can see where the bridge is. See if that's the cap. You can see the captain if that's a captain. No. That's a big thing. Hold on one second, JJ. This is something with the captain's lounge. Ah, that's over. Everybody just trying to listen to what the captain's saying. So the captain was saying, I don't know if you guys can hear him. Let me know if you can hear the captain what he was saying, but because of the weather, we're not going to Dutch Harbor, which was the one stop on this cruise that I was really looking forward to, just for the fact that I'm a big fan of The Deadliest Catch, and the weather is making it to where we won't be able to go to Dutch Harbor. They're moving our sea day to tomorrow, so we'll be in Kodiak on Wednesday, and we were supposed to be in Dutch Harbor on Thursday, but because of the storm that's coming in, we're being canceled. So I was looking forward to maybe having a drink with some of the captains from on the Deadliest Catch or seen some of the ships, but uh, doesn't look like it's going to happen. I think this is one of the reasons why they don't go to. Let me flip the camera back. But one of the reasons why they don't go to Dutch Harbor is just because it's so far south that the weather fluctuates so much that they can't always make it into the port itself. So it's supposed to be really windy tomorrow in Kodiak, so that's why we're switching it from tomorrow to the day after. I guess we'll have a 3 day tomorrow. All right, so we're leaving Valdez right now. And like I was saying, unfortunately, we'll be not going to Dutch Harbor. If any of you guys were expecting to go there, for you guys that are still on AOMR, if you guys could like and subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate it. We'll be hopping back on a live feed on Wednesday when we make it into Kodiak. But all right, I'll let you guys see one last view of that's where the oil tankers go. That's one of the oil tankers right there. One of the recovery vessels if they end up having a spill. And then you can somewhat see the clouds are starting to come in, but the oil storage tanks up on the side of the hill. So that's the end of the Alaskan pipeline into those storage tanks, and that's how everybody, at least in the United States, is getting a lot of their fuel is from here in Valdez. But wanted to say thanks for watching the live feed. Appreciate it. Again, if you can like and subscribe, and is that Variato? How you doing from cold and rainy Alaska? Appreciate everybody watching. We'll see you guys in a couple days. I appreciate it. Have a good evening, everybody. Thanks, JJ. Hopefully you can jump back on. It'll probably be in the afternoon for you guys, or in the early evening on Wednesday. But yeah, we're in Alaska there. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.